Aye.
Aye. Approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
And I will second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. There's a question on the claims.
There's a
I
question.
didn't have any questions. Anybody else?
I'll wait for Myron.
No, okay.
Well, then I'll make the motion that we approve the claims.
I'll second that.
And you'll clarify whatever, right?
Okay.
With Myron?
Yes.
Okay. Aye.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 I'll make a motion to approve the,
Should you?
ARPA fund.
Arthur,
Yeah.
should you do that with Trevor being on there?
Oh, you're right.
I'll make that motion then. Okay.
Okay.
There was more than one though, right?
Yes.
You want to read those off, Gary? Please.
You want me to, you're gonna read them off?
Well, he's got the folder. There's a couple ARPA claims in there.
There's more than one, there's
Oh, okay,
four.
okay.
Invoice number IN 110440. Invoice number IN 110441.
Hey, Gary, can you just say the vendor
Just the
and the
name.
amount instead? I think one was Shelby's Conservation.
Let's see. ARPA Wildcat Campsite Improvements. That's first two.
I can't hear him.
Here, I'll grab them.
He's looking at it.
Oh,
Here.
One is to the Gazette for $36.66, and that's for Wildcat Campground. Actually, there's two to the Gazette. Another one's for $27.68, and then Trevor Seaman, $4,515 for the walls that he built here at the service center for the public health.
and you said True North as well, didn't you?
Yep, Gary has that one too.
Okay.
Yep, for the
Okay.
$4,428.
Okay. Yep, for a grand total of $9,007.34. And made a motion to approve the ARPA funds, or ARPA claims, excuse me.
Second.
I'm abstaining.
What's that?
How about second, Gary?
You got a second?
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
They're approved. And I guess we're ready for the Judge Anderson update.
Oh, right hands.
Up here?
Sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one called in.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Judge Anderson. I'm the, Lars Anderson. I'm the Chief Judge of the 6th Judicial District. This is Kelly Cortez. She's our District Court Administrator, and probably all know Julie, the Clerk of Court here. But I think it was 2 years ago, maybe, I came out here, and we just like to come out periodically to say hi and say thank you for everything the board and the county does for the courthouse and to make our lives a little easier. Kind of a weird relationship the courts always have with the counties. We work in buildings that the counties own and operate, so we're kind of at the mercy of the counties in a lot of respects, and we appreciate what the counties, in particular Benton County, does. This courthouse is, talk to my fellow judges, this is one of our favorite courthouses to come to. There's a lot of, Benton has a lot of, Benton and Vinton have a lot of pride in their courthouse and their town, and that's evident in the courthouse. The people there are great to work with. The sheriff's deputies that work there are top notch. The people who clean the courthouse are top notch. One of the cleanest courthouses we go to. So just great facilities, and we really appreciate everything the county does and the board does to make help with that. So just want to say thank you and Kelly may have an update or two.
Sure. Kelly Cortez, I'm the district court administrator of the district. No big issues to bring before the court or the board. I'd echo what Chief Judge Anderson said. We really appreciate everything that the board does to support the courts in Benton County. It is one of the favorite places to go in the 6th district. Cleanliness of the courthouse and the positive relationship that we have with the county attorney's office, sheriff's department. We appreciate all that. In terms of court updates, the only real update I have, we continue with some technology installation in the courthouse, and we appreciate the board's help with that. That's our project, but it's going into your facility. So we are in the process. I guess we're not fully functional yet of both of the courtrooms in the Benton County Courthouse being able to have proceedings completely by video conference with cameras and microphones, and we also have installed some recording equipment. We have a court reporter shortage in the state, and in the country, actually, not just exclusive to Iowa. So we do record proceedings in juvenile court exclusively, and we do some district court proceedings. We don't have statutory authority to record all proceedings, but we do a limited number. And so we are utilizing that recording equipment to do that in some proceedings. And with our court reporter shortage, we've gotten a little creative in that we'll send judges and court staff out for court service days, and we will have court reporters in other areas, if you will, who will Zoom in by video conference to report and make a record on hearings. And we've done that for quite a while now, and the technology has made that a viable option. We'll have one reporter, for example, assigned to both Benton and Tama on a court service day, for example, and they're just available. They may sit in Lynn or Johnson County, or sometimes they work from home and are just available, to be able to Zoom into that hearing. As that hearing happens, we have court staff coordinate all that, set up the Zoom, and the reporter will dial in and have all of the video cameras so they can see everybody and make a record from another location. So that's one way that we have worked with some of the staffing shortages that we have in order to ensure that the citizens of Benton County and every other county in the district has opportunity to have access to the courts and to be able to make a record locally, not have to travel somewhere where we have a court reporter covering 3 different counties. So a little update on our technology. That is kind of ongoing. We are fine-tuning some of that equipment in the courthouse now. We just added the ability to record in the big courtroom upstairs. So yeah, Julie's helping us to coordinate all that and our local contact, and so that's really the biggest update from the courts. That's an ongoing thing, and I think it's probably a practice that we will continue into the future, but we always intend to have judicial officers, court staff go to our rural counties in order to be able to service them and give the citizens of Benton County and all our counties access to the courts the same as they would get in Lynn or Johnson counties. So if the board ever has any issues or questions, facility, with regard to any of that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I work closely with Julie too, and she has access to us pretty easily. So, we're here to be good tenants, if you will, and appreciate all of the help and cooperation that we've always got in Benton County.
Yeah, and I love our working relationship that we have with the county, the sheriff's office. The deputies are all really great to work with. Everybody over in the sheriff's office and the county attorney. We've got a great communication, so we try just to keep each other updated so things run smoothly, and if there's ever a problem, they reach out to us, and we try to get things all smoothed out. So we appreciate you.
I assume that all that technology is ongoing
Yes, yes. Obviously, as you know, with technology, we had the initial capital outlay to install it, and we've also got ongoing funds in order to maintain that. We have all of our systems that we install. We have maintenance agreements with vendors that we work with. And so yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing, and it will be in terms of, I know they've budgeted into our long-term fiscal analysis for upgrades and things like that too.
How long till it's basically complete?
It's fully complete in one of the courtrooms. It's not the large courtroom. I think we're 100%. It's the smaller courtroom on the, I don't know what floor it'd be, the second floor?
Yeah,
The
the
second floor
magistrate.
is,
Are they still putting outlets in or something the other day?
well, they
Yeah.
thought they were done, and then, I don't know, there was a glitch, so I'm not sure, but.
Yeah, they had the recording in there, but now they're putting the video in there, so they'll have it it'll mirror the other courtroom. And hopefully, we won't have another, outbreak of COVID or anything, but at least we can spread people out, like if we have jurors, I mean, they can watch things in another room. So it's going to be great that we'll have the technology and hopefully not have to use it for that, but it's there.
Yep. So the short answer is we're pretty much fully completed with the installation at this point. It's just kind of working through some glitches and bugs and with all those integrated parts and all that kind of stuff. We've had to do that with every system that we install, kind of have a checklist of stuff that we work through, and that's where we're at with this right now.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, thank you
It's been
again.
a pleasure. Thank you for your time. We
Can
appreciate
I
being
ask a
here.
question? ma'am?
Sure.
About the technology stuff. I noticed up here last year I was in the courtroom, there was wiring, and I was told this was for the new technology running across the floor in front of the door. It was in every courthouse in Lynn County, or in Iowa last year, and I didn't see that anywhere else. But not all the technology was complete. So is that gonna be a permanent fixture, that wiring laying on the floor up there?
No, we should have, part of the installation is to make sure that, we don't have any trip hazards or, and everything is, done in a professional, the installation is done in a professional manner.
It didn't
Absolutely.
look professional.
Yeah, no, at the time, when we first installed the systems during COVID, we had money from the CARES Act, and so it was kind of a big swarm, drop the equipment, kind of just get it in to try to be able to have some court hearings, remotely and things like that. So, and as we're going through, and that's kind of part of this phase of it too,
Okay.
make sure we've got everything done, so we're not, our technology isn't creating any issues with trip hazards or, we want it to look as professional and nice as I know that Benton County takes, like Judge Anderson said, great pride in the courthouse, and we want to make sure to conform with that, absolutely. If there are any issues, Julie's been really good about communicating to us, and we get our vendors back in there, and so, yeah, absolutely.
So how many courtrooms do you preside over? Do you team at Benton, is there others?
Oh, we've got 6 counties, so in our district, so, Lynn and Johnson, and then
Jones.
Benton, Tama, Jones, and Iowa are the 6 counties that comprise our district. So we travel all over the district, the district. So I'm in all the all the district courtrooms in the district. So yep, we move around.
Don't you guys rotate like a month on?
Yeah, different judges have different rotations, but the district court judges, we rotate every month. But when we have an assignment, like I'm assigned to Benton County this month, which is why we scheduled this, and Benton has court service days absent a trial, generally on Thursdays and Fridays. So that means I'm backfilling other places on Mondays, Tuesdays. So yesterday I was working in Cedar Rapids. Today I'm here. I don't know where I'll find out where I am tomorrow by around noon today. So it's just kind of you go where you're needed. So yep. Anyway, well, thank you again so much. And again, if you guys ever have any questions or need something for us or have a concern for us, either you can feel free to reach out to myself. You can go through Julie, reach out to Kelly. Any of us would be happy to try to address whatever issue or concern or question you have.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come.
Yeah, thank you.
for having us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank
bye-bye.
We have a law enforcement contract from Urbana.
Put that on your desk.
Anything that we need to do?
Sure. Urbana would like to update their law enforcement contract, go from 2.5 hours a week to 12 hours a week. They'd like to see a little more patrol activity up there. That's at the rate of $32.50 an hour. It's paid quarterly. Should all be spelled out in the contract there. It's 20,000 some odd dollars a year. I believe it's 624 hours total.
So this will replace the other one we did. So should we say the amended contract? Should we call it an amended contract then?
I don't know if we signed one in July. But it's, if approved, it's scheduled to start today.
Ron, this is Rick Kramer.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Are we getting any closer to getting things resolved up there?
I do not know that.
Okay.
I know there's some attorneys involved in what's going on there, and I think he's probably on their court schedule. Is that fair to say?
It's not.
No offense, I just don't want to see this into a Benton County full-time responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan is full-time moving forward. I'm not sure they do at this point.
Okay. Okay, just was wondering.
Yep,
Well, there's no doubt they need more law enforcement exposure up there.
Well, I guess the next item is to approve it.
So you got a
Excuse me.
amendment to their existing contract, is that what you got there?
The last one was signed in December, so this one is a new one for 25, for fiscal year 25.
Okay, all right. And valid for a year, is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, I can't see it.
I can email you, Ron just sent it to me.
Okay. The other two looked at it?
Yeah,
Okay. If you guys are good with it,
when does the higher rate start?
the 3250 is current.
That's current,
That's current.
and it gonna jump up in a year?
Yeah, we need to go into negotiations and like we did the last time.
Okay, okay, all right. I'll make a motion to approve the law contract with Urbana.
Can I ask a question about this?
Do we have a second, Rick?
Oh, I have a question.
Oh,
With the
Well,
sheriff's office being
you can
short,
second it, Gary.
just a second. We got a question.
with the sheriff's office being short-staffed, and the city of Urbana not making a decision after 125 days, I mean, does that affect, does it make sense to give them more contract hours?
Yeah, they need more exposure up there, you know, from what they had in the past. And it's not up to that level, but
It's just the fact that they have an established police department, and they decided to get rid of that, now they're asking for more hours. Just kind of wondering if there should be a different decision there.
Yeah, I got a question about that too. You know, $32 an hour may cover the deputy, but that doesn't cover any wear and tear on the vehicles, does it?
No.
That probably won't even cover half of what the deputy gets, you know, the cost of the deputy to the
I mean,
taxpayers.
To me, this is the same case that Atkins is going through. They additionally want hours and hours and hours, and realistically, they should have their own police department. That's just a question that I have. Just doesn't make any sense to me that they've got an established police department. They did fine with that established police department for 2.5 hour contract time a week, and now they decide to get rid of the police department, and they want more contract hours. I just believe it's a case that they made their own bed, they should lay in it.
I really don't, myself, don't know what's going on up there, Urbana. Just what I see on the papers and the news and all that. I don't know, but they do need some kind of protection, I know that.
Speaking as a property owner up there, we definitely need more presence.
So what actually happened up there? Did they let some of their officers go?
Actually, I'm Josh Baker, I'm the police chief up there. I was basically called in one day, put on paid leave while they explore what they want to do for police resources.
Probably the only way to keep the whole county whole. Start charging more.
and there currently some litigation going on there.
Yes.
So I think they're going through the litigation process, and that will, in the end, determine where they go and what they do.
I mean, I just think that things need to be thought about a little bit as far as manpower goes. I mean, the sheriff's office is short of one road deputy, one school resource officer. Not sure where every county's at with the hiring process on that, but.
Did the mayor and the council ask for 12 hours,
Yes,
or did they even ask for more?
they started at 15, and we went through the calls for service, and we believe this will cover what's been going on.
Now, when you serve papers, that won't come off that 12 hours a week, will it? Or will it?
If they stay around town and do some patrol, then yes.
They need good law enforcement. That's obvious.
Would it be smart to go with a 6-month contract instead of a full year?
There's a termination clause in the current one, so I think that just buys them some time while their court proceedings are going.
But on the same token, you will not charge extra if you go over the 12, correct? Or do you?
It's not in the contract too, but we don't, unless something big takes place, we don't foresee that happening. You never know.
Well, I made a motion to, I believe, to go ahead and sign the contract. We're waiting for a second, Rick. And
All right, I'll go ahead and second it. I presume the contract's just like all the others I've seen.
yes,
Yeah. And hopefully they can get things sorted out up there. And I definitely agree that the 3250 is not enough, but that's something that the sheriff has already addressed. And that comes up as we go forward, obviously. So I threw my second in there.
All in favor, please say aye.
I,
Aye. Motion carries.
I decided to sit down.
That's like, I would look for you over there.
My turn?
Yep, the historic preservation.
Yeah. Historic preservation.
I don't have an agenda with me. Good morning. A couple items. Where do I start? We had, I'll come over here. I
I
what?
can hear.
Oh,
Rick's on the phone, so just stand in there and center.
Okay, so we had our meeting the 8th of August. On a side note, this is working out pretty well. The only thing is we have to plan a little better. If I'm in town and I have 2 hours to kill, I can't just like go key in, because part of the time there's meetings here, and so I drive in and I'm like, oops, I guess I'm coming tomorrow. Incidental little thing, you know what I mean? When I get done with this, I do need to talk to somebody at some point about mailbox, because there's some issues, I'll explain later.
Okay.
So anyway, at our meeting, 2 of the things that we are required to do every year is we need to go get education, and we also have to have public outreach. So we decided our public outreach activity would be a flea market. This is the ones that we did. I haven't redone a flyer, but this is the one we did in Shellsburg to highlight the bridge 3 years ago. We would like to do exactly the same thing down at Celebration Park, like they run farmers market. The date we picked was September 28th, right?
Yep.
We have contacted Vinton Park and Rec. We have also have an application to the city of Vinton right now to ask them to close the street like they do for farmers market. That's not gonna get on their docket till I think next week. But because I have time to do this now, do you guys have any issues with this?
I don't have any issues.
You're just having a flea market.
Yep.
Hmm.
We literally provide nothing, but there's the space set up your stuff.
Okay.
So you don't charge the vendors or anything.
We want to charge them $10. So, because if you don't charge them something, they get up that morning and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's 45, I'm staying home. If you charge them money, they tend to show up. I already have 8 different entities that are interested in coming and setting up their booth. We have a food truck that's interested in coming down there. So, are we good to go with that?
I have no problem. Rick?
Is that $10 fee, you're gonna have to do some advertising. You
Yep.
don't have that in your budget?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. So hopefully that $10 fee will reimburse you for that advertising.
Yes. It should cover anything we need to deal with the event.
Okay.
And understand if the city of Benton says, no, we're gonna go to Plan B, which is some other something. The second thing is, we are in every year there's a CLG grant that only our certified local government historic preservation commission can apply for. Several people around town and the area have inquired about historic window restoration. And Terry Phillips, well, she didn't bring that up because we can't pick our consultant yet. Anyway, we have decided, or talked about, we decided, correct?
Yep.
To host a historic window, restoring workshop. And we started to apply for a grant for it. Because of the way the dates all lined up, a draft was due last Friday. We sent a draft in. Obviously, if you guys say no, don't apply for that, we wouldn't send a final. But, the final is due September 3rd. We would have it next spring. So, and here's where I go. 8 months ago when we were putting together budget, I don't think we put any money in our grant fund, our grants and contracts. So, and the other thing hinges, if we send this grant in and we don't get it, obviously we wouldn't have to fix that. But,
You said if we do get the funds, when is it coming in?
they would tell us in December, January.
So it'll be this fiscal year. 'Cause
Yes.
We are planning to do an amendment, so maybe you and I can talk to get that amount, just in case.
That's what, and because we're close on our copier thing, that's why you guys only got this page. It's a 17-page one, and I don't want to have to pay extra. If you would like a full copy, you'll get one when we get to September 3rd, but then we're in another month. What any of you guys like? So, it would be a two-parter. The way we've planned it so far is the end of March, we would have a one-day, which is informational. You show up, here's how you do it, here's what you need, the skills you need, and a clinician would walk you through. Then, first part of May, we would have a 3-day intensive workshop for about, and get back up, 25 people could attend that first one. Only 10 could do the second one, and it would be a 3-day. And by the time you walk out of there on that third day, you can restore a old antique window all by yourself. It's a unique skill, and there are only 3 people in the state of Iowa that can actually do this. But anybody with an older home with a wood window, it's a skill that you need if you want to do it yourself. So, we're gonna ask for about $6,000. Total cash match would be $2,750, which would be, this is basically registration fees. So actually, at the moment, no budget money is pulled for this. In-kind match, which is how much time I would put into it. I can, as a project manager, I can charge X amount of dollars per hour for all of the time of all of the things I'm doing, and so can all the commissioners. So that's how much money we would in-kind match. Does that make sense? So the total budget for the project is $11,400. This is all subject to SHPO, which is State Historic Preservation Office. That's where our application went to. In the next 2 weeks, they go through it and send back, you should fix this, talk more about this, do that. And then on the 3rd, it gets sent back in as a final.
Looks like we put 8,900 in for that Fund 3.
Okay, so it'd have to go up.
So we need that 11,500 really, at
Yes.
least.
Well, unless SHPO comes back and says, no, this needs to change. So by September 3rd, I'll have a number.
Okay.
Are you good with us doing this?
What are you actually gonna do in this building, or
I'm not for sure exactly yet.
not sure yet?
Well, the windows we would end up using to have them redo
Yeah,
are from the seat house.
okay,
So,
That's,
yes,
the seat houses were the last one would be proposed to be done, since we're
because they
working on
actually
their
come
window.
in-house.
so that'd be 3 days over there then.
Yes,
Okay,
I would need some, we would need some facility for food, and we, I've talked with one of the firemen about possibly using the firehouse since the bathroom would be across the street. And frankly, they would have great facilities for shipping lunch, if not, we'd probably use here. We might end up using here for the Saturday one. I'm worried about getting through this fall.
yeah, so this is all maybe yet.
Yes.
Have no problem with it. I do.
Don't need it.
Rick, did you get all that?
No problems.
Okay.
There you go.
So the last thing, mailbox,
Okay. We can, after the meeting,
later?
or?
Okay, it's nothing that,
Okay,
Did you guys have a PO box prior?
we have number 7 out here.
Okay. That's what I thought.
We still have number 7 out here, but public health is also now at number 7. So I keep delivering mail. And if we're gonna send, the most immediate issue is, we were Suite 29, now we're not, so when I take that off of there, when we send all this advertising out, we tell them to send us their vendor form, I need to figure out what to put on it
okay,
to make sure it gets in the box.
okay,
And figure out whether we still want to share with public health or we need to move.
okay. I don't know how full the boxes are, do you know?
I don't, but I would think public health probably wants their own,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be busy.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't think they have a key, because their mailbox is never empty.
Okay,
So yeah, we need to talk to Grace in the post office probably.
okay. All right,
Nothing huge, just,
all right, I'll check in on that.
okay. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
There are many historic preservation commissions that don't have this much support, so thank you.
Well, I guess we're ready for our engineer.
First thing, Sue couldn't be here this morning, but I had asked her to put together a resolution, secondary roads as an employee, Donald Erger, who helps with the telescope. The bargaining unit contract has 3 wage classifications for those operators. The VC or the 5C is kind of the beginning operator that normally runs at less than 2 months out of a year, or has had less than 2 months of experience. The VE or 5E is the one that's been working with the machine for at least a year, and then the highest one, the VG or 5G, is 2 years or more operating with the machine. Donald is in a position where he's probably had a little bit more than a year than the beginning, but we've never changed his wage classification accordingly. So I'm asking that effective yesterday with the new pay period, that Donald's classification changed from a VC to a VE, and that hourly wage would change from $28.76 to $28.88.
2888?
$28.88, yep.
Here, I got a resolution.
Okay.
I've got 2
Oh, you
copies.
printed one too?
Yep, I have. Whichever.
We can do both, and Martin
Yeah.
can keep one.
Okay, and I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-78. That's the classification for Donald Berger.
Now,
Go ahead, Donald Berger.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Resolution does have to call
Oh, yeah.
for individual names.
Oh,
Seaman, aye.
Primer, aye.
Pearson, aye. These might be, I'll sign one of them.
Send one.
Earlier this year, we had a contractor that moved in to replace a bridge on 21st Avenue Drive in Big Grove Township. That was between 64th Street Drive and 66th Street. That project was completed late last week and is back open to traffic. That bridge, prior to its removal, had an embargo on it. Now that we have a new bridge, I have a resolution here to remove the weight restriction embargo at that bridge location due to the new structure. So if I could get a motion to pass that resolution, I would appreciate it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to remove the bridge embargo on the bridge on 21st Avenue Drive at Big Grove Township.
I would second that.
All in favor, please say aye.
Resolution.
Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pearson, aye. Motion carried, or whatever, resolution carried. There you go. Got some more bridges about, that we're getting worked on, aren't there?
Correct.
How many we got total? 3 or 4, isn't it?
There are 3 that are closed right now that are in the various stages of construction. One on 63rd, just west of 218, that just started late last week. 17th Avenue down northeast of Keystone. Potentially pouring the bridge deck on that either later this week or early next week. And then 16th Avenue west of Mount Auburn, north of the Blacktop in Cedar Township. They are planning to pour that deck late next week. Most of those bridges are federal aid bridges projects, and the other item on the agenda I have for you today is a DOT federal aid agreement for county highway bridge program projects, bridge replacement projects that I've called them, where the county gets reimbursed for, in this case, 100% of the construction cost of the bridge. The proposed bridge that the plans are being designed for is on 32nd Avenue Drive in Florence Township. That would be between, I believe, 75th and 76th. It'd be south of the Marcus residence. That bridge has got an embargo between Marcus's, and I'm trying to think who lives in that farmstead on the south end of that road, is north or south of that bridge. We did a lot of rehab work to that with some flooding 10 years ago, but it's still got a substructure that's deteriorating and has a weight limit on it. And so we are designing a replacement, a twin box culvert will work in that location. The agreement would cover up to $450,000 of the construction cost. I think that is more than what I think it will cost. I know some of the conservative estimates might be slightly more than that, but to date, the contractors that have been bidding in Benton County have been giving Benton County more than a super great price. So I think the $450,000 grant will cover 100% of that cost.
North of Marcus's driveway,
South.
the big bridge,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna put a box culvert in there?
It's not that big, but yes, a twin 12 by 8, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's a 32 or 40 foot long bridge right now. Yes. The agreement asks for the board's approval and the chair's signature. In Rick's absence, I just asked for the vice chair's signature. We'll work on this agreement.
Okay. Make a motion to have a DOT federal aid agreement, replacement bridge on 32nd Avenue, Florence Township. Good enough?
Good enough.
And I can second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carried.
Sign right above that chair line.
How many bridges does Benton County have in it total? You know?
If you use the federal government's definition of bridge as being an opening greater than 20 feet, which then includes like twin-celled box culverts, I think Benton County is right between 325 and 330 structures that fit in that definition. .327 used to be the number, but sometimes a smaller, shorter than 20 foot or shorter gets replaced with something longer than 20, and then that number grows.
So what is a normal lifespan of a bridge? 40 years?
The concrete ones that we've been building for the last 35, 40 years, I would say most of them probably will have a 60 to 75 year lifespan or longer. The box culverts that are all concrete will probably have a 75-year lifespan design, but probably will last a century.
Kind of in our replacing bridges now for a long time future.
A lot of wood structures were built in the 40s, and that wood is showing its age right now. 40s and 50s both.
Have you heard how the lighting is coming from the DOT on Highway 30 where the project is already completed? Marstown, Van Horn corner?
I've heard nothing more other than whether I was interested in it 6 months ago or something, but that's the last anyone has ever communicated or anything with.
So I'm thinking, you know, here we're in August, school's gonna be starting, so that intersection's gonna have more kids going to school.
Actually,
It's not your responsibility, but I mean, just put fire underneath somebody.
Oh, inquire. Like you say, I think it bounces back to the probably district office in Cedar Rapids, that would be versus the construction engineer that's out there on the project.
Okay, common sense, it's done, so let's finish it up. As for the state.
I would think they'll do the whole, the Luzerne corner and the Keystone corner.
See, but Keystone ain't done it.
No, but
You wanna wait that long?
they could do it all at the same time. They could do it now even if it isn't done, I would think, but I
I
don't know.
mean, overhead intersection lighting that is on Highway 30 right now at the intersections with county roads, the county ended up having to take the lead on putting those lighting projects together and pay for half of the project cost. But I know that there was talk about trying to, at least the Blairstown Van Horn corner, as to whether the DOT would treat that one any differently or not.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that not included in the initial plan, the lighting?
Or from the DOT's planning standpoint, what I've learned from earlier projects, I guess at least, is that they don't treat intersection lighting when it's not a primary or state highway, their project and their part of the, anything of their part of the project.
I've been getting some,
The only reason Atkins intersection light was probably paid for was because when that part of, at least 33rd Avenue, when that 4-lane portion was done, that was still a state road going into Atkins, I believe. County inherited it. I take care of all of the maintenance costs with those lighting right now. When a light's out, we've got to hire somebody or fix it ourselves and, or troubleshoot if the whole intersection is out. I do know that we, at least that intersection itself, I think the power is shared with Memorial that's on that intersection. So if one's out, everything's out usually. I kind of learned that by default a number of years ago when I learned of that down on 151 west of Walford, that those lights, for whatever reason, Doug, were done, I think, as part of that project when they did some work down there. But the agreement that was signed with that project indicated the county took over the maintenance on that, and I had that agreement pulled out and handed to me because I called the DOT once 25 years ago, said, hey, we need to fix some lights. And they're like, no, we don't, you do.
yeah, I know that the Blairstown intersection with the one light that's there, if it's raining or something, it's tough. I got a farm right close to that intersection, and I was turning the wrong place one time in the rain.
The landscaping has changed a lot. I know many of you mentioned that when the work was being done, and having traveled Highway 30 enough, that intersection looks completely different today than it did years ago, and it is not hard to drive right past it with the intention of turning off on that and missing it. Now, the extra wide turning lane helps, but it's still an intersection you don't see in advance like you used to, or know in advance where it is. In some cases, until you're there, it's gonna change with time. But right now, it's a drastic difference from what everybody's been accustomed for the years.
That's all I got.
All right.
Okay, is there anything else?
No.
Reports?
Had conservation last night. That's about it.
Rick, do you have anything?
I on the health board last Thursday, real quick. But no, that's it.
I didn't have anything, so I guess we're ready to adjourn.
I got some questions for Byron about the road. My driveway again, I've been trying to get a hold of somebody. The guys out there, they're finished their grinding yesterday.
Uh-huh,
None of them know anything about the next code, because it's Pelling doing that.
correct.
I've been out here trying to find somebody from Pelling to ask, and there's nobody around. So who do I need to get a hold of to find out what I need to do there?
I had met with
And they-
3 of them on Friday. One of them said they looked at your driveway, shouldn't be a problem, and they were gonna reach out to you.
Oh.
Probably stop at your place, I guess,
Okay.
unless you've got some information you want to give me to have them contact you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can probably give you a phone number or something,
Is,
but
They
they,
said there's a county inspector out there.
Mhm.
I've never seen him either, so I don't know where he's at, so. I don't know if you got his number. There's all my stuff, so. Because I went out here on 218 where they did that, and everywhere there was a cement driveway, they ground down and put the blacktop in to match the elevation of the cement, so.
well, Pilling's got they said they got a 2-foot mill, and they said that wouldn't be a problem to do.
Okay.
Mill up next to your driveway, and he said he was gonna, I think he was estimating 60 or 65 feet long, along that possibly.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
And maybe he was crunching some numbers. He said he was gonna, I gave him your address, and he was gonna get a hold of you to talk
Okay.
about the details. But
Okay.
I'm sorry, is there anybody else that has something?
Motion adjourned.
And I'll second that. Thank you, everyone.
Right, Ben.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. We're adjourned.
Yeah, I need you to sign those
Have a good day.
claims.
You. I didn't mean to catch that one.